You know, a lot of places along the Gulf Coast have, home medical equipment and supplies. One of the things you have to keep in mind when you get it is being serviced with those supplies. Well, Gardens Pharmacy in Ocean Springs, they are so well known for taking care of their customers, during and after the sale. So we're going to go in today and show you some of the great things that they do have here in Gardens Pharmacy in Ocean Springs. Joey Christosic is the director, good morning, and respiratory therapist here at Gardens Pharmacy. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful, and yourself?
Doing very well, thank you. Tell us how you got into this business yourself.
I've been doing respiratory therapy for about 21 years, mostly critical care, hospital, emergency medicine. Had the opportunity to come here with the Gardens and create this division, kind of how we wanted to do it, and I jumped on it and been loving it since.
We've been to Gardens Pharmacy on several occasions and looking at several different things, and it just seems to keep growing and offering more and more things to the public.
Yes.
And that's great. You cover such a wide spectrum.
It's needed. It's needed. There's a lot of companies that provide home medical equipment here on the coast. It's kind of how we do it that makes us stand apart. Getting the patients very involved in their therapy and a lot of education so they know what's going on with them, what we're doing to treat it, and why they need to do it.
And that's the thing that to make them have a more fulfilling life.
Yes.
Well, let's talk about some of the different things that you do offer here. I mean, as far as different machines when it comes to respiratory therapy, how you work with it. How do you decide exactly what does this patient need?
Oh, that's a good question. Typically if it's like sleep medicine, the physicians tell us what the patient needs, and then it's us to really educate the patients and real strong follow-ups and trying to get the patients involved in their therapy. Sleep medicine is hard. 50% of patients quit the therapy within a year.
Wow.
And sleep medicine has a lot of effects on the body as far as diabetes, hypertension, heart failure, and everything that we know is exacerbated or made worse by sleep disordered breathing. So we really focus on that, try to get the patients involved, whether it's getting online and getting their reports and looking at it and tracking their own therapy. We have a very strong follow-up, especially initially, is getting these patients desensitized to the therapy. It's a big change to have to do to wear a CPAP machine at night. So you have to wear a mask, which is different, strapping something on your face, and then we add pressure to hold their airways open so they don't collapse at night, and that's what's happening with sleep apnea. So it takes a lot with them, working with them to get them used to, changing all their habits and being able to long-term get to use this. That's the most important thing, is long-term benefits. There's a reason insurance companies will pay me to go to their house to go set up this equipment, because they know long-term, if we can keep them on this therapy, that their healthcare expenses will be much lower, they will be healthier, and they will live a better life.
And that's a good thing.
Yes, that's a good thing.
Well, talk us about some of the equipment that you do have here.
The equipment we carry is kind of the same as far as sleep medicine. All the companies carry the same equipment. It's the service that stands us out. When we talk about oxygen therapy, COPD is the third leading cause of death in the United States.
Wow.
And oxygen therapy is really one of the only things we know that helps it. We could take all kinds of different inhaled medications that help with symptoms, but there's really only two things that we know of that prolong your life when you have COPD. One is, the first thing is to quit smoking. Okay, and we help them with that too. We get them in contact with the Non-Smoking Coalition and through the American Lung Association, and then mobility. We know that mobility helps COPD patients, keeping them mobile. And it's hard when people
it exercises their lungs.
Well, it exercises their lungs, it keeps them healthy, and they do better long term. When someone gets on oxygen therapy, they tend to think that they got to stay home now. That's it, we're not going anywhere. So one of the things that we do here is we do a lot of portable concentrators. So patients don't have to lug around tanks. The thing about when patients have tanks is their options are very limited. If you have a tank of oxygen and you go shopping and your oxygen runs out, you have no options. There's nothing. You can't make more oxygen go into that tank. If you have a portable concentrator, you have options. You can plug it into a wall. You can plug it into your car to recharge the battery. These are battery operated. They're about 5 pounds.
So I mean,
Patients love them.
it filters the oxygen just, I guess, right out of the air.
It creates oxygen.
Creates
out of the air.
oxygen
Yes,
for you.
Yes.
That's amazing.
So, and the kind of the therapies we're doing is we give them a home concentrator, which is here that you
Right.
see, and then we give them the portable concentrator for when they're up moving outside the house, and then of course we do have to use tanks for emergency backup systems.
Sure.
Power outages and
Well,
stuff.
that's
like
what I
that.
was going to say. Power outages, storms, things like that. It's always good to have the oxygen tanks as a backup.
Yes, yes.
And you pretty much stay. You keep a file, a list of all these people. That way, you just check in on them and say, everything's okay. You need anything?
Oh yes, yes. We follow up. With our sleep medicine patients, I follow up with them for at least the first 30 days, almost daily. Talk to them almost daily. With the oxygen patients, the first week we follow up and make sure that everything's going okay. But then every 3 months we're out there talking to them, checking on everything, making sure nothing's changed. And teaching the patients how to monitor their own oxygen levels. And that kind of gets them involved in the therapy, and they can detect problems, which if we detect them early, they can be taken care of.
That's awesome. Thank you so much. We're going
Thank
to talk to Wanda about diabetic supplies and shoes that they have here at Gardens Pharmacy in Ocean Springs. One of the great things also about Gardens Pharmacy is the different diabetic supplies that they have, lancets, things like that, but also diabetic shoes. Wanda, how are you?
I'm good, thank you.
You're the diabetic specialist here. Let's say I'm a diabetic patient. What's different from wearing regular shoes than the diabetic shoes?
Our shoes are made where there's,
No, I know the pressure points is important.
yes, and the seams are sewn so there's no causing of rubbings or blisters. They're extra deep. They have an extra wide toe box.
So it makes it, you're not cramping your foot up in there.
That's
and the
correct.
thing too is, look, used to they were those ugly black things. Now, you've got such a huge selection here to choose from. You got nice dressy, casual, tennis shoes.
Yes. We even have a work boot that has a steel toe in it.
Wow. You would never think, looking at some of these shoes, that these are actually diabetic shoes.
Yes.
That's amazing. And again, it's very important that you are fitted properly. So if you come in here to Gardens Pharmacy, talk to Wanda, find out exactly what it is that you need. And a lot of it has to do with what kind of lifestyle that you have. Again, Gardens Pharmacy has got some great items for you. If you're looking for different things, medical supplies, respiratory supplies, diabetic supplies, you can find those too. They're located on Government Street, not too far east of Washington Avenue. They're open Monday through Friday, 10 to 5.
10 to 5.
And 11 to 2 on Saturday. So if you are in need of any of those items that we've talked about, that we showed, give them a call. Numbers on your screen. They do deliver. Gardens Pharmacy, Government Street, Ocean Springs.